ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. My salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, who descended on this earth to establish the Dharma and who practiced all the world major religions, and who is the embodiment of all the world religions, and who is the best among the incarnations. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, after a long time, after the Christmas holidays, after I think 2 or 3 weeks, now today we are discussing again the hymn Om Hrim Ritam, which we sing every day. So the hymn is a beautiful hymn which is composed by one of the greatest saint of this modern age, that is Swami Vivekananda. The whole hymn is the explanation of the Dvadasha mantra, 12-syllabled sacred chant. If you remember my first class, you'll be able to recall them. What is the 12-letter sacred chant? Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaaya. So every line of this hymn explains every letter, syllable of this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaaya. So the 2 stanza we had seen. Now, today we are going to discuss the 3rd stanza, para, in the hymn. If you remember, in the earlier classes, in the first words, we try to know who is Sri Ramakrishna. Om Hrim Ritam Tvam Achalaha Gunajit Gunedya. You are the Supreme Brahman, Supreme Self. You are with form, without form. And you are the truth. And you are the embodiment, substratum for all the qualities, gunas, and you are beyond all the gunas. Like this we discussed. And in the second verse, we try to know the 3 main yogas, the paths. Bhakti Yoga, the path of divine love. Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge. And the Karma Yoga, the path of selfless action. All these 3 things will lead to you. Means one can reach you by any of this path or by all of this path. And who is he and who is Lord Bhaga, who has got 6 divine qualities or nature? All these things we discussed. This 3rd stanza or the para, it is very, very powerful. It is a direct, way of explaining who can attain the immortality, who can attain the God, the Supreme Self. Either you say God, or you say Parabrahman, the Self, Supreme Self, or the divine power, or the cosmic power, whatever you say. How to attain it, or how to attain the liberation, how to get liberated from the cycle of birth and death. I don't want any rebirth. So Vedanta, part of Hinduism, it belongs in rebirth. So how, by doing what, one can get rid of this rebirth? If you ask, in this 3rd stanza, the thing which we are going to discuss today, there Swami Vivekananda is giving the right answer, direct answer. And well, these are not, it is not that them we do not know. We know, but we have to put into practice. Our actions and our knowing our words cannot go, generally they are not going in a synchronized way, in a coherent way. Whereas in all the saints and the prophets, incarnations, or the man of realization, if you see, man means woman also includes. Here, whatever they speak, they do. Whatever they do, they only speak. Now, so I'm not going in the line by line as it is, but I'm just going which is easiest way for us to understand. Now, in this third stanza, if you want to understand, first in the second line, the last two words, tvayi rāmakṛṣṇe, that you have to take. So that is the beauty of Sanskrit. So the noun and pronoun, verbs, adverbs, it can be interchanged, but still the structure of the sentence or the meaning of the sentence will not be disturbed. So we can put in any other place. That is the beauty of the Sanskrit grammar also. Tvayi rāmakṛṣṇe, Ramakrishna means in Ramakrishna, tvayi, you, what happens? Tarasa, very quickly, tejas taranti, one can cross over. One who takes shelter, one who gets fixed their mind in Sri Ramakrishna, very fast, quickly, they cross over this samsara. Say for an example, I am traveling from here to Belfast. I can go by walk, okay, few days. I can go by cycle, bicycle, so few lesser days. I go in a two-wheelers, still lesser. I go in a vehicle, four-wheelers, fast, and I go by flight, faster. So going in the flight is the fastest transport system we have got, isn't it? So similarly, if one has to attain the liberation, one has to get rid of the cycle of birth and death. One who wants to get rid of this rebirth, then what is the quickest way? What is the first way, possible way? If you ask, the Swami Vivekananda is telling that that is you, Ramakrishna. Means what? One who takes surrender at you, one who follows you, he can cross over this samsara chakra, the cycle of birth and death, or one who can attain the liberation in the fastest way. Now, tarasa means very quickly, very fast. Okay. Tejas taranti. Taranti means crossover. So very quickly crossing over from what? Tejaha. Tejaha means tejas means one is fire. Here you should not take the fire here. Tejaha means it is semen or the seed. Means which is the source of the creation. One seed, one tiny banyan seed, that if you sow in the soil and you water it and all, then what happens? In few days, slowly one sapling, then a small plant, then tree, huge tree. And that tree can give rise to so many trees. Why? Because it gives so many seeds, fruit, and that fruit seeds can give hundreds of thousands of banyan trees. All the fruit car is what? One seed. One banyan seed produced a banyan tree, and that banyan tree can produce hundreds of thousands of seeds, which will be the source for hundreds and thousands of banyan trees. So similarly, here the seed, what is the seed of creation? The desire. One desire to fulfill, I did something, then karma, action, then actions result. To fructify the actions result, then I have to experience. While experience, I do something, then to fructify that again one more. So it is a vicious circle. So that vicious circle is what is represented by tejaha. Means the whole creation, birth and death and birth and death, creation, sustenance and dissolution, creation, sustenance and dissolution. The samsara chakra, whatever is there, the cycle of creation, tejaha means. And what does it mean? It is actually rajas, the creative power, the desire, which creates desires, which creates ambitions. That is what rajas. If you remember Bhagavad Gita shloka, rajo rāgatmakam viddhi tṛṣṇā sanga samudbhavam tanni badnāti kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. Hey Kaunteya, hey Arjuna, tanni badnāti, it binds you, it binds the embodied self. Of course, embodied self is a bound person. Why? Rajo rāgatmakam viddhi. Vidhi, know that rajas is the nature of the passion. Trishna Sanga Samudbhavam, which is the source of the thirst and attachment. It binds the embodied being very fast because of the attachment to the action and its results. So that rajas is being represented by the teja, the one word. You see, that's the beauty of Sanskrit. Of course, in every language, we have got such words, no doubt. So one word teja means which is the source of creation. You can take desires, you can take actions and its results and all. Basically, it's the source of creation. Teja taranti. So I want to cross over this source of creation. I want to cross over this samsara chakra, the cycle of birth and death. Yes, it is possible to cross over the samsara chakra in a very fast way, in a very rapid way. Tarasa, very quickly, in a fast, in a rapid way. How? Tvayi Ramakrṣṇe. One who loves you, one who surrenders you, one who takes shelter in you, A Ramakrishna. Or one who takes your name, Ramakrishna, he can, cross over the samsara chakra. For an example, there is a beautiful story like a Kali Pada Ghosh and Girish Chandra Ghosh. There are so many people stories. I think one, a sadhu had come, monk he used to live in Ayodhya. You know, Ayodhya is very famous now in India. Everyone is speaking of it. Ayodhya, a monk was living. He had a vision, dream, divine dream that Sri Ramakrishna, who was born as Rama, who was born as Krishna, now he is born as Ramakrishna. He is living in Calcutta, in Dakshineshwar, etc. So he walked from Uttar Pradesh to Bengal, which few hundreds of kilometers. By walk, he came to Sri Ramakrishna. But unfortunately, Sri Ramakrishna had left his mortal coil by that time. So when the sadhu heard this, he was very unhappy, he was sad, he was morose. Then he started bitterly crying day in and day out for 3 days. Then the third day, he had a vision of Sri Ramakrishna. He had the experience of that Supreme Self. Then he got up, then he had a bath, he took his meal, and he left. See. Tejaha taranti tarasa. So 3 days, day in and day out, he cried for Sri Ramakrishna, and he got the vision, and he got emancipation. So this is what we can understand very clearly. So this is a Lord's name. This is the power of the Lord's name, this is. You take any Lord's name, and if you practice sincerely devotion or the love, divine love, it is easiest way to cross over this cycle of birth and death, or to destroy the ignorance. Then, tvayi tṛpta-tṛṣṇāḥ. Now, one desire is there. I want to fulfill. And I thought, okay, by fulfilling that desire, then I think I will get rid of the desire. I will get rid of the desire. I fulfilled, but it increased. That's a reason. There's a beautiful Sanskrit saying. It is like, by fulfilling a desire, if you think that you can quench the thirst for that desire, that means it is by pouring the ghee to the fire, you are trying to put off the fire, which is not possible. Rather, by pouring the ghee, it increases, the fire increases. So similarly, by trying to quench the thirst of the desire, by enjoying, you can't fulfill it, or you can't stop it, you can't nullify it. Then what to do? Control, control, control. Control is required, but mere control is not enough. For a few days, for a few hours, or for a few months you can control, but afterwards, it may not be, it will get away. And if you suppress, that will come in a different forms. It will take its own different ways. It manifests in different ways. Then what should we do? We should sublimate the desires. Theory of sublimation is one of the important concepts in Upanishads we see in the Vedanta. Theory of sublimation. What is that? Example, in the January 1st, we had a Kalpataru Day celebration and Holy Mother celebration. Baby probably of 5 or 6 years, baby had a child came, he or she, and she was gone making a noise. Everyone are getting a bit disturbed, but it is a child, baby, they don't want to tell anything, and they're unable to control the child also. So the child is making so much noise or whatever. Then I came and I was about to start meditation and then followed by puja, worship and all. Then I observed the child is making some noises and people are getting disturbed. Now, instead of scolding or instead of saying that, please, can you take her out, etc., I said to the child, look, if you do noise, then you will get one chocolate. Fine. You can imagine when the child baby heard about the chocolate, its face got bloomed with so joy, with so much joy. Then I said, wait. If you try to keep silence, if you try to observe silence, then I will give 2 chocolates. Then I said to the baby, the child, so whether you want 1 chocolate or 2 chocolates, obviously most of us we say, okay, 2 chocolates. At least, if not for a long time, to given point of time, the baby kept quiet, desiring for 2 chocolates. Of course, I gave 2 chocolates, no doubt afterwards. So, 1 chocolate getting and talking, some joy is there, no doubt. But for 2 chocolates, I am trying to observe silence. So to get the highest joy, to experience the highest bliss, I am merging or I am sacrificing the lower desires or lower joy. So this is what called theory of sublimation. That greatest idea of theory of sublimation is being told in these 2 words, tvayi, tṛpta-tṛṣṇāḥ. What is that? Tṛṣṇā. Tṛṣṇā means desires. Tṛpta means satisfied completely, not half, not quarter, not 10%, not 50% or 80%, completely. Tvayi, in you, means one who takes Sri Ramakrishna as the goal, one who takes Sri Ramakrishna as the ultimate, one who feels that experiencing Sri Ramakrishna, experiencing the Supreme Self, experiencing the divinity is the only desire, is the only goal. One who can make it, then all other desires will be sublimated in this. Because Sri Ramakrishna is a complete personality. So by having a desire to attain them, all my desires can get merged in that. So only keeping one desire strong, all other desires will be merged in that. So develop on strong thought. So that what happens? Our minds are restless. Hundreds of thoughts, thousands of thoughts are crossing over the mind. Now I am willfully, consciously, I am forcing my mind to think only one thought, time and again, forcefully. Then what happens? Slowly, thousands of thoughts will get hundreds of thoughts, then 10, 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Concentrated state. So similarly, so here, tvayi tṛpta-tṛṣṇāḥ. Oh Ramakrishna, I want you and you alone, nothing else. Or I try to see you in everywhere, in everything. So seeing the God everywhere. Ishavasya-midam sarvam, Upanishad says. What do you say? Cover the God with everything. Cover the entire world with the consciousness. That's what Vedantic teaching. What does it mean? Try to see the God. Try to experience the divinity in everyone, sinner and saint, in good and bad, in the worldly thing or in spiritual thing or whatever. So desiring to see the God, desiring to experience the divinity, everything. So forcefully, willfully, consciously practicing only one desire. So that what happens? That becomes so strong, all other desires gets merged in that, sublimated in that. This is what called theory of sublimation. So tvayi tṛpta-tṛṣṇāḥ. Only one desire, that is attaining you, experiencing you. That's what we can see in all the great saints' life. They had only one desire, experiencing the divinity, realization of the self, or attaining the bodhisattva, or attaining the arhat from Jaina philosophy, if you see. or attaining the Jivan Mukti from the Advaita point of view, or attaining Vaikunta, or Swarga, or heaven from the theistic schools of Vedanta or from Semitic religions point of view. So having one goal as a strong main goal, then all others will be subsided in that, will be sublimated in that. For an example, there are funny types of desires. A child was coming to ashram always, and the child wanted to see the president or the minister in charge of the center. Why? Because the child, it is not that the child loves that Swami. Because the Swami was giving chocolate, that's the reason the child was interested in meeting the Swami. Like that, we want progeny, we want name and fame, power, position, some desires we want. We approach the God. That is fine. But slowly, slowly, we want God alone. That should be there. So I want God and God alone. And that has to be there. Now, how can I say, how can I feel I want God alone? Or how can I understand that my mind is desiring God and God alone, not anything else? Of course, we ourselves, we can understand. Otherwise, we can understand how when we are able to follow the teachings of the masters, great masters, then we can understand to such extent, to that extent, we are loving the God, we are loving the divine personality or divinity or God or prophet or incarnation, whatever you see. Tvayi tṛpta-tṛṣṇāḥ. So by loving him, by desiring for him, by thinking him again and again and again and again, by developing an attachment to him, then what happens? All other attachments, all other desires will be sublimated in this main thing. Then our worldly desires will be diminished. Who wants to diminish? For them, there's a path. And there are certain people, that's okay, Swami. We want God and we want world also. I want spiritual progression and I want materialistic progression also. Materialistic prosperity also I want. If any one of you feel that, then fine, you can go both. So you get both, whatever is possible. But if anyone, a spiritual aspirant, if he's a sincere, then he thinks that he may do all his worldly responsibilities he may perform, but he thinks that he needs God and God alone. Why? So that is the state of highest bliss one can attain, by attaining God, by attaining Supreme Self. So for them, this path is told. Now, rāge kṛte. Raga means attachment. That's how the anuraga has come. Rāge kṛte. One who has developed extreme love, extreme attachment to Sri Ramakrishna, to the God, to the Supreme Self. For example, Mirabai, a prince actually. She comes from India, from the western part of India, from Rajasthan. She was the prince or she was the queen of the family or the dynasty where Maharana Pratap came, from the same family. And in those days, she was a prince or a queen. Then she had a lot of rules and regulations. Riches were there, gold were there. Then people were there in and around. She was able to lead rich, prosperous, materialistic, prosperous life. But at the same time, she had a lot of do's and don'ts. She has to do this, she should not do this, because being a queen. But she never cared for all that. She used to go to the place commonly outside. She used to mix with people, and especially she used to go and sit in temples where there is a religious gathering and hearing the talks of the saints along with the common people, which was not allowed for the kings and queens in those days. So obviously there was a lot of control. The people, the palace people, they tried to control her. They couldn't. Then they said, either you have to stay with us or you have to go away from here, leaving all these riches. Now she has to renounce her riches, materialistic prosperity, name and fame, power, position, security, all these things. She was ready to sacrifice everything, to give up everything for the sake of Krishna. She said yes. And of course, she was tried to poison also. Gladly she took the poison and she consumed. If this is the Krishna, so let it be so. And miraculously, though she consumed the poison, nothing happened to her. Everyone were dumbfounded. Then she said, I don't need anything of these things. I want Krishna alone. She left the palace, all the materialistic comforts, materialistic prosperity, and she walked to Vrindavan, the Krishna's abode, and she spent her life in meditating, in singing the glories of Krishna. This is what the extreme attachment. She had the extreme attachment to to Sri Krishna. So all the, even the princeship or the princesship or queenship, all that materialistic prosperities didn't matter at all for her. Everything was just a value of a blade of grass. This is what rāge kṛte. So one can love the God in such extreme love, then one can realize God, one can experience God. Just like we see each other physically in our day-to-day life. So similar way, one can see or experience the God's presence. And even this extreme love, we can see in the Naren also. Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda he debated a lot with Sri Ramakrishna, he questioned, he examined, all that is true. But along with that, he loved Sri Ramakrishna. As we all know that Sri Ramakrishna, by accepting the sin of the people, so he had to suffer. He had a throat cancer, we all know that. Because of the throat cancer, he was unable to take any food. Most of the very little, gravy or the semolina pudding, he was able to take very little at some point of time. So in those days, imagine 150 years before, then cancer and all, they didn't had any idea properly. So just the people started hearing then only. So they had a lot of wrong ideas about it. When devotees came to know that Sri Ramakrishna has got a throat cancer, some of his disciples would be monastic disciples and as lay disciples, they started fearing by serving Sri Ramakrishna, we may also get the cancer. Though it is not epidemic, but still people thought in those days because of the lack of knowledge or because of ignorance. So everyone were, if not many of the people, many of the disciples or devotees, they were thinking twice whether should we serve Sri Ramakrishna or not. Why? Because they may get that. Swami Vivekananda, young Naren, he understood that. He pulled all of them to his room, Sri Ramakrishna's room, and Sri Ramakrishna had taken that pudding, semolina pudding, and he had left in the small bowl, and he took the bowl, and whatever Sri Ramakrishna had taken, with the same bowl, he also consumed and said, look, if cancer is epidemic, then whatever the Sri Ramakrishna has taken the pudding, semolina pudding, then I have also taken suji payas. If cancer is supposed to come, it will come to me also. Let us see what happens. So he challenged all of the disciples and devotees. See, that's what the love, he loved Sri Ramakrishna. One side he debated, he discussed, he questioned, he examined Sri Ramakrishna. Other side, he loved Sri Ramakrishna so much so. Then all his disciples and devotees, they all felt bad about it. They asked sorry with a young Naren, and they started serving Sri Ramakrishna. This is what the rāge kṛte, extreme love. When we have got that extreme love to Sri Ramakrishna, or to Rama, or to Krishna, or to Allah, or to Buddha, or to Jesus, what happens? Then our life, our spiritual progress becomes very fast. Then God starts taking our responsibility. Our individuality, individual ego gets lessened. It gets diminished. Then what happens? Then no more hurdles. When I'm walking, when I'm traveling, if there are no hurdles, then I can go fast. If there are hurdles, there are speed breakers, there are some stones, there are pitfalls in the road, what happens? Then my the speed of traveling will be lessened, isn't it? So similarly, one who has got extreme devotion, means love, intense love towards God, then what happens? He attains the immortality very fast. So rāge kṛte means one who has developed extreme love, extreme attachment to Sri Ramakrishna or any incarnation or the Supreme Self or the Supreme Power. I think we can take the example of Swami Trigunathitanji also here. Swami Trigunathitanji, one is the apostle of Sri Ramakrishna, he loved Holy Mother so much so. And he was serving also. till he started Udbodan and all, the Bengali magazine, first Bengali magazine in the Ramakrishna order. Before coming to States, he came to United States and he was their minister in charge for quite a good time. And he's the first person who built the first Hindu temple in the United States. So before coming to United States, he was serving Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi. Once Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi, she called Tirunatitanji and he said, look, I need the hottest chili. So can you go to the market and can you bring the hottest chili? Now, what do? We go and we ask based on our experience or based on the shop owners' utterances, we may bring the hottest chili. Okay, mother, this is what the hottest chili it seems, please take. But Tirunatitanji simply, he didn't do that. He went to every shop in the market and he took one chili and he had a bite. Okay, there is a chili, hot, spicy. Okay, he went to second shop. There he took one chili and he tasted it. Third shop, fourth shop, fifth shop, 10th shop. How many shops were there in that market complex? He went to all the vegetable shops. He tasted the chili and he decided now which chili in which shop is the hottest. Then he went and he said, okay, your chili is the hottest in the market. Please give me. I would like to purchase. And he purchased and he went and he gave to the Holy Mother. By that time, because he time and again is tasting the chili, what happened? Because of that, his tongue had swollen. But he never bothered. He never cried with the pain. No. Why? His love towards Mother, Holy Mother, didn't bother him. Of course, this is an extreme case. We not to do all the time. But what I mean to say, rāge kṛte, extreme love towards to a person, what happens? You don't bother about poverty. You don't bother about difficulties. You don't bother about problems. Why? Because I love such a person. I love a person. I would like to do best for him. I would like to give the best for him or her. I would like to do the best possible thing for him or her. This is what rāge kṛte. So, lot of hurdles will go away. Oh, I would like to meditate, Swamiji. But what to do? I'm not able to concentrate my mind. I'm not getting time. I'm not getting interest. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting that. All of us, including me, we complain. Why? Because that love towards the God, the love towards the Supreme Self has not increased. That's why we have got all these problems. The moment it increases, the more and more, then our problems, spiritual problems also decreases. So, rāge kṛte, that you understood now. Then ṛtapathe, you are the truth and you are the path. Because you are the embodiment of the truth, by following the path of truth, then we will attain you or we can attain you. Man mukh ek karo, Sri Ramakrishna is one of the main teaching. Whatever you think and whatever you speak, it should be same. Man mukh ek karo. So it means actually your thoughts, your actions, and your speech. Thought, word, and action, all three should be synchronized. I tell something and I do something else. No. So one who has got coherence, synchronization in his thought, in his words, and in his speech. I think something when I'm thinking a person, oh, he's not good. But for a courtesy sake, okay, you're a good person. So my thought and my speech is not synchronized. I am thinking something, okay, I will help you. And I said also, okay, I will help you, but I didn't help you. My thought and my speech is synchronized, but my actions are not synchronized. That should not be. By synchronizing in the thought and action and in the speech, one can attain the God. It is very, very important. So this is ṛtapathe. For example, in Sri Ramakrishna's life itself, we can take this. Once Sri Ramakrishna had promised to one person called Shambhunath that I will visit your house, farmhouse. So that was next to Dakshineshwar actually. And Sri Ramakrishna, that whole day, so many devotees were coming, disciples were coming, and he was busy in meeting them, talking with them, clearing their doubts or blessing them and all. Then night he remembered that I had given a word that I will visit Shambhunath's house. Now it is a late night. Everyone will be slept. He knew, but still to maintain the word, he went and he kept his, he went into that Shambhunath's garden house and Shambhu, I have come, I have come, I have come. 3 times he told and he came back. Means his word. Even that late night maybe, he followed it. Now we will take a oath, resolve, a New Year resolution that I will get up at 6 o'clock every day. If you take a resolution, then you have to get up, no other chance. Today I'm headache, I will not. Tomorrow, yesterday I slept late night. No. Today I'm feeling tiredness, so I will get up late. No. So once if you decide, you have to put into practice. Then only through the willpower, if you can do it, then only our spiritual progression is possible. Or even progression even in the earthly matters, worldly matters also possible then only. So those who are completely satisfied in Sri Ramakrishna. If I get Sri Ramakrishna, if I get God, that is enough. This is one of the easiest path to attain him. One who desire the greatest joy in Sri Ramakrishna or in the God. God is the greatest asset, is the greatest accomplisher, greatest fulfiller. So by having him, by attaining him, by experiencing him, by seeing him, all my desires are fulfilled, will be fulfilled. So my joy is in attaining him, experiencing him, and I have tremendously attached to him. Or one who loves the path of truth, because that is the only path which takes to the God. So these are the 4 Mahavakyas, Maha Mantras to attain the God. Those who are completely satisfied in God, those who who derive the greatest joy in the God, who is tremendously attached to God, and one who loves the path of truth. The 4, whoever fulfills the conditions, it is one or other, it is all interlinked. Then what happens? He or she can see God, experience the God. He or she can get rid of the cycle of birth and death or samsara. That is what important. Then what happens? They will get liberated. They will get immortality. That's what Swamiji is telling now. Martyāmṛtaṁ. Martya means Maranasvabhava, means which is mortal in nature, which is liable to death. We all know that we have got birth and we have got death also. We die, we have to die. Everything, whatever has been created, it gets destruction. It meets destruction. Whatever has been created, it has to dissolve, it has to get destroyed, one or other. Maybe million years, but still it has to. So that's what called Martya Swarupa or Martya. Martya Amrutam. So we are all liable to death. We are liable to this different types of modifications. Then Amrutam. For such people, you are Amrutam. Martyāmṛtaṁ tava padaṁ. Tava padam. Your feet, your holy lotus feet is in the immortal nature. Your holy lotus feet is in the nature of the immortality. Tava padam amrutam means one who takes refuge at you, or one who takes you, one who surrenders at you, one who follows you, he attains the immortality. So I think there's a beautiful story of Kalipada Ghosh, a devotee. Once he went to Dakshineshwar, and Sri Ramakrishna said, Kali, I want like to go to Calcutta. Will you take me? Will you mind to take me? Kalipad Ghosh said, yes, please, I will take you. Please come. Then he hired a boat, and Sri Ramakrishna was welcomed. Sri Ramakrishna sat in the boat, and Sri Ramakrishna and Kalipad Ghosh, and some probably may be there or may not be, they left to Calcutta. If you see Dakshineshwar and Calcutta, they're opposite sides. In between, there's a very big Ganges river. So the boat is going slowly. It has almost reached the middle portion of the Ganges now. It is quite deep and the water is very speed also. It is not that easy to cross it. Now, Kalipada Ghosh went and he held Sri Ramakrishna and he said, please be gracious on me. Let me have your grace. Sri Ramakrishna said, okay, you remember the Lord's name, you take the Lord's name, that will be taken care. The Lord's name will take care of you. He said, no, I don't want all that because I'm such a fool and I'm such a person where I cannot take the Lord's name always. No, it is not possible for me. So please be gracious. please have a mercy on me, please bless me, be gracious on me. Something he started pleading. Then Sri Ramakrishna, then he understood otherwise. Now he's in the problem because he got up and he's holding his feet. They're in the middle of the river. Then by shaking, the boat can go upside down. Sri Ramakrishna is in now very difficult condition. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, Kali, go, okay, get up. Then Kali got up, then he asked him to open his tongue and he wrote some mantra. You chant this mantra, everything will be all right. Kalipata said, no, that is not possible. I don't want this also. They say that itself, an incarnation is giving him initiation by writing a mantra. Definitely, it was probably one of the best way probably. But Kalipata said, no, it is not possible for me. I don't know what I will do, whether I can repeat the Lord's name always. No. Then what do you want? You promise me. What is that promise? I have heard of the death. During the time of death, there will be dark everywhere, it seems. So embodied self will be feeling bad, will be feeling nervous or fear. What is the next step? What is the path to go? I have heard. So you promise me, during at the time of death, you will come. Fine. See, the prayer of the devotee. You have to, in one hand, you have to hold my hand. In one hand, in the other hand, you have to hold a lantern so that we can see the path. I can see the path. So you have to hold me in one hand. In one hand, you have to hold the lantern and you have to show me the path. Then Sri Ramakrishna laughed and said, all right. And Kalipata Ghosh was lucky. He got that, vision of Sri Ramakrishna is passing away time and he attained the immortality. So, martyāmṛtaṁ tava padaṁ. Your holy lotus feet is the immortal, in the nature of immortal for the mortals. For the mortals, you are the immortal. So by surrendering at you, by following you, by taking you, by depending on you, one can attain immortal. But we are mortals. That is what martyāmṛtaṁ. maraṇormi-nāśaṁ. Marana, death, urmi, waves, nāśaṁ, destroyed. What waves? The waves of death means what? Because we have got in Vedanta, whatever, 6 modifications. Asti, exist. I start getting into existence in the mother's womb as an embryo. Asti, jayate. Then I've taken birth. I've got a date of manufacture. Birthday, which is vardhate. Then child, adolescent, young, I'm growing. Viparinamate. Then after some time, there are only modifications, no growth. Apakshiyate. After some years, slowly, my health gets started deteriorating. My body parts is getting deteriorated. Vinashyati. At one someday, I will die. So whatever these changes are there, that's why it's called wave. Otherwise, death, birth and death is also a wave. So urmi can be also taken as like that. Maraṇormi, the wave of death means the wave of birth and death. Nāśaṁ. So that has been destroyed, will be destroyed by taking refuge at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. Or God, or Rama, or Krishna, or Shiva, or Durga, or Kali, or Ganesha, or maybe Allah, or Jesus. You can take any God's name. By surrendering at the God's feet, by repeating, by extremely loving the God, what happens? They attain the immortality, attain the liberation. Martyāmṛtaṁ maraṇormi-nāśaṁ. What is that? Tava padaṁ. Your pada, your feet, holy feet. If you follow a worldly man, what happens? At any time, he may give away us. He may cheat us. He may depart us. He may renounce us or whatnot. But in the case of God, it is not so. Once God holds us, then we are not left over. Why? Name bhakta pranashyati. Krishna has told in Bhagavad Gita, my devotee will never perish. The greatest assurance has been given by Lord. So one who takes the shelter at the feet of Ramakrishna, then what happens? They will attain the immortality. When we hear all these things, we may get a question. We may get a doubt. Is this possible really? This question may come, yes. Recently, I had heard one beautiful story. That person, he passed away recently in Bangalore. For last 20, 30 years, After his retirement, probably, he was leading in his farmhouse, simple life, and he had one servant, and he used to look after the farm, and he used to cook for this person also. So early morning, he used to get up, and he used to do meditation, prayer, and reading Sri Ramakrishna's gospel whole day as much as possible. Then evening, he used to go to ashram, monastery, and attain evening arati, vespers, and come back and have a meal and sleep. For a long time he spent. Off late, because he was 90 plus, his health was not so good. So the family people brought him from farmhouse to the house itself. So they were keeping and they were looking after him well. A month before, he had said to his family people, look, my time has come. Sri Ramakrishna is calling me. And I've said, yes, master, I have led enough life. I would like to come. I would like to come at you. Sri Ramakrishna said, yes. So I will be leaving this mortal coil on Friday. Then definitely family people, no one was happy. Definitely, as we know, they will feel unhappy or morose a bit. And they said, look, why don't you ask Sri Ramakrishna, your master, that you can give some, you may leave some more time. He said, no, I've led enough life. I don't want to leave anymore. And I will be leaving. Please don't disturb me, etc. Then they all said, okay. And on the Friday, whatever he said on the day or the day of the week, he left with happily taking the Charanamrut. Charanamrut means when we worship and all God in the Hindu custom, we pour water and all, so that whatever we have used the water, pouring, giving a holy bath of the Lord. So that is called Charanamrut or tirtha, we say. So that he consumed, and he left the mortal coil on the Friday only. And this has happened in India. And his grandson, who is in the US, working and staying there, he is also a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. That same time, of course, it was a night in India and it was a morning in US. Morning, he had got up or whatever, that was a time probably for meditation time. He is unaware of his grandfather's passing away. He sat there for his regular meditation or spiritual practice, and he is sitting in meditation. And he is counting the Lord's name, is repeating the Lord's name, or is meditating. There he had a beautiful vision that Sri Ramakrishna has come in a silver chariot. Sri Ramakrishna comes in a silver chariot, and the silver chariot gets stopped in front of his grandfather's house. Sri Ramakrishna goes inside the house, and he calls his grandfather, and he holds grandfather's hand, and is bringing grandfather with love and with affection. And he came back and he sat on the chariot. Oh, before that, he had the vision. Before coming Sri Ramakrishna, his grandfather with a white shirt and with white dhoti, with smiling and happy face, is sitting and is waiting for someone. He's waiting for someone. So Sri Ramakrishna had gone. So his grandfather was very happy, and the grandfather followed Sri Ramakrishna. Both of them, they sat in the silver chariot, and the silver chariot left to Ramakrishna Loka, the super world or the above world. And he had that vision. In no time, he received a phone call saying that your grandfather is no more. It's one of the greatest assurance, a divine dream. It is not even dream because it is a meditation. It was a divine experience. So when we hear all these stories, what does it mean? So God exists even today. If you can practice sincerely, follow his teachings, master's teachings, then one can experience God even today at any given point of time. This is when I heard this story, I was so happy and I was so much moved. Oh, Sri Ramakrishna, you are here. Only we need love, we need shraddha, faith in you. That is the only thing. That's why all these things fine. But I have got this understanding, my actions are not reflecting this. Tasmāt, therefore, tvameva śaraṇaṁ mama dīnabandho. Tvameva śaraṇaṁ. I'm taking refuge at you. Why? Mama dīnabandho. You are my God. You are my loved one. And you are the God of lowly persons. I'm such a low person. And you are the God, you are the master of such a low person, so I'm taking refuge at you. I understand all these things, but I am not able to put into practice. So only left out is for me. I am surrendering at you. Please protect me. Please uplift me. So this is about what is a natural power. One comes in a greatest spiritual aspirants. So they will not have any egos. Why? Because we are not able to practice all that, whatever we say. That's why better is, I will take shelter at you. I will surrender at you. Please help me. Please protect me. Please uplift me. Please lead me. So basically, it is a way of nullifying, crushing our unripened ego, which is very, very important. Because of the ego only, a lot of problems is there. So to crush it out by surrendering. And what is surrendering? 6 types, 6 limbs of surrender, and all we have discussed in the second class. I hope you remember. So may Sri Ramakrishna, the Supreme Spirit, Supreme Self, bless all of us, so that we shall surrender to him, we shall love him, we shall think of him more and more, and we shall experience him, and we shall be free from the cycle of birth and death. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So I'll be going to Scotland tomorrow. So I'll be returning only next week. So coming Saturday and Sunday, weekly discourses will not be there. We will meet you. We shall meet in the next Thursday. Thank you, Jai Ramakrishna.